welcome to the Lululoves Crochet Podcast, episode 41. My name is Emma and this is my podcast all about crochet, crafts, books, anything really that I fancy talking about. I hope you're all well. I think it's been about 4 weeks since I podcast last, which wasn't intentional, it never is, but we've had a tough couple of weeks really here. My eldest daughter actually got COVID, so we were all back in isolation for 2 weeks. Luckily she's young and fit, so she wasn't too badly affected. She just had flu-like symptoms for a few days and felt really tired, and she's been left with she's got no sense of smell or taste, which I think she's finding very frustrating. So the children were all back out of school. Luckily none of us caught it, so I can only assume that our vaccinations have been working, but I actually had my second jab earlier this week, but we all felt incredibly flat. I mean, Rob was able to carry on working, he works from home, I work part-time from home as well, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, it really took it out of me. I will say I just felt really fed up, but I'm very thankful that no one was too ill, you know. So we're all back in good health now and trying to get back to normal. But in those 2 weeks, I didn't do any crochet. I just lost all motivation, which is a kind of sad because, as you know, if you watched the podcast last time, I was I'd done some Skillshare classes on motivation and creativity, and I just got to a place where I started to feel like I was getting my mojo back. But hey ho, that's life. So I didn't do a lot of crochet. I read a little bit, but again, not even much reading. So I don't have a lot to update you on really. I've got a couple of whips to share with you, some books I've been reading. I do have a yarn haul actually, because I did end up placing a yarn order, so I'll show you that. That's quite exciting. So I guess I'll just get into it. But anyway, I hope you're all well and that life's getting back to normal for you all. We've been looking forward to things opening up a bit more, though we still really haven't been anywhere. I did manage to, a couple of weeks ago, we had my eldest daughter and I went to the Museum of Fashion in Bath to see they had a shoe exhibition. So we did do that, so that was nice. But other than that, we haven't really even been out. We've had lots of birthdays as well, which has meant lots of baking. So maybe that's why I've been baking lots and not crocheting. Anyway, I'll get started. I'm going to start with my vest top because it's here and I've just pulled a few stitches. I'm sorry if the light keeps changing. The sun is going in and out today. So this is what I have so far on my little bobble vest top. There we go. I'm either going to do a vest, I think maybe a vest, or a short sleeve. I can't really tell what I'd prefer, but that's the sort of shape I've got. So I've just sort of decreased for the arms. I'm really happy with it so far. I just need to work out what I'm doing with the neck, which is why I think I paused on it a bit. I'm coming up to the neck and I'm wondering whether to go high and make it more of a winter piece for layering over shirts, or to give it a V. I'm not sure yet, which, like I said, that's why I've sort of stopped. But I really love the pattern. It's working out really well. It's really fun to make. The other thing I'm not overly keen on is the yarn that I'm working with. It's an acrylic. It's not a paint box, which is the acrylic I usually like to work with. I'm not overly keen on the feel. It's making my teeth go a bit. So I think I'll work it up and then make another one in some nicer yarn. And then I've just done it again. I've pulled some stitches. Just working up the back. So again, I've just got to the arm decreases on the back, which I've worked. I took your advice and I went for a flat back, and it makes sense thinking about it. You know, you don't want to feel those bobbles on your back when you're driving. So yes, so I'm just doing a plain, and because of the way that I'm working the bobbles, I'm having to do a row of double crochet and a row of treble crochet. So but yeah, that's nice and easy. So that's been nice to work on, because it's just a little bit of back and forth. So hopefully I'll have that finished by next time, because I really do want to wear it. But yeah, like I said, I haven't really felt like picking up my hook at all. Although the football was on Sunday, wasn't it? The final. And I suddenly felt the urge to make something, so I actually did start another project, just a small one, and I've not brought it up, but I'll share that with you next week. But that's a good sign. It's a sign that I'm getting back. So the next project, I'm not sure if I shared this on the podcast or not, but this is a blanket, or a throw. It's more of a throw that I am making for my nephew, and he was born shortly before the start of the pandemic, so really haven't seen that much of him, and I was trying to get it finished for last Christmas. So he would have been around a year old, but then they changed the rules and we weren't allowed to see, you know, very many people, so we didn't get to see them, and I think I got a bit disheartened by it all and just put it away and completely forgot about it. So when I was tidying up during my isolation, I came across it and thought, right, I'm going to make it my lockdown, my isolation project. I'm just going to get this finished, and of course it's granny squares, so you know, that's really nice. And the other thing was, I had already made all the coloured squares, if you can believe that. So all I had to do was really join and work up these white squares. So I'm using a combination of, they're all chunky yarns, because I think initially I had wanted to make him like an heirloom sort of christening blanket, a really lacy pattern, but actually what they wanted, I think, was more of a throw for his room. So I thought, and they picked the colours, so I thought, well, if I make it in a really chunky yarn, then hopefully it'll be quite hard wearing, and he can use it, you know, they obviously can use it as a throw, but they can also use it in the garden for picnics, and you know how kids like to play with blankets. So I thought that might be more. So I've just done a basic, I think I've done 6 by 6. Yeah, so I've done 6 by 6. It's quite big. I want it big enough really to, like I said, for it to be able to be a little sort of picnic style blanket for him. So now all I've got to do is pop on an edge, and I'm going to just pick out the colours and, you know, alternate them with the white yarn. But I ran out of chunky yarn. I was 1 square away, which was rather annoying, and I don't know if I can find it. I've also sewn all the ends in as I've been going along. I should be able to feel it rather than, yeah, it's there. I mean, you probably, well, actually I haven't sewn the ends in that last square, so you can see. I ordered a load more of this. This is just paint box white acrylic, and I ordered Aran weight by mistake, and actually I'm using chunky weight yarn. And when I worked this last square up, although you can't really see the difference, and it's not coming up too differently in size, you can feel the difference, because obviously it makes the blanket feel a lot drapier. Whereas this is quite a sort of stiff, chunky, heavy feel, which wouldn't have been a problem. But because I've now just got to use it for the edging, I was worried that it might pull the blanket in. So, and I didn't want to go up a hook size again, because that would have changed the sort of feel of the blanket. So, and it's not a problem. I use this paint box acrylic yarn all the time. So I just kept the white that I'd ordered. and I've just put in another order for some chunky white acrylic. So I think they're all paint box. I know that blue is a paint box. I'll put all the colours in the description below. However, that one is not. I think that might be a style craft colour. And I've got a feeling one of these is a style craft. What I did is I colour matched. She'd given me a picture of his nursery, and I tried to colour match, and I couldn't get all the colours from one brand, so I did just sort of pick and mix. But yeah, I think they look really lovely together actually, and hopefully that will be a blanket that can grow with him, you know. I mean, I like these sorts of blankets for the children. I mean, as they get older, they can, you know, when they're babies, you don't want anything too heavy on them, do you? But as they get older, and they want to make dens or play in the garden, or even when they're poorly on the sofa and you just want to, you know, they want to snuggle. So I will be happy to get that finished and off to him before, you know, he turns 20. But anyway, I'm nearly there. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the yarn, and then I should be able to get that done. And that is everything. That's everything that I've been working on. So apart from that little project that I started Sunday. Excuse me. So I think I'll just show you the yarn that I've ordered. So first of all, I got sent my monthly subscription from Knit Crate, and I have so far loved the wools that they have sent. What have we got this month? It didn't come in a box this time again. It came in a little package. Yes, so this is maize yarn, and it's called Aldine Wools, and this is the colour Chill. It's beautiful. Although I feel like I've already had a bluey yarn from them. With their subscription boxes, you can pick the types of colours that you like, and I'm pretty sure that I picked neutrals. So I'm guessing that's why they're all kind of similar shades, because I'm pretty sure I showed you a lovely sort of silvery blue. This is more of a blue. Look at I mean, the colours are so beautiful, and the yarn is so soft. I mean, beautiful yarn. So this is the book, Happy Little Schemes, May 21. It says Aldine Wools Chill is a lusciously soft worsted weight blend of 90% Surrey alpaca and 10% cashmere. Yeah, I don't think I've ever worked with that Surrey yarn before, and that is, I mean, it is beautiful. Hand wash gently. So let's have a look at the patterns. We've got knit and crochet. You've got sock club patterns. That's for, I don't think I did the sock club. No, I didn't. I opted for the thicker wool. So I've got a crochet beanie or a knit cowl, which seem, I suppose, slightly odd patterns for summer. There's the cowl. Cowl. The beanie. Yeah. I prefer the cowl pattern, but that's knitted, and we all know my experiences with knitting. That does look pretty, and I should imagine that yarn is really nice. I actually quite like that colour as well. A little cup. I think I would have preferred that colour. That's lovely. Anyway, so hopefully I should get some time to make something with these. So the socks are pretty. And then there was some little stitch markers that came. Oh, the little, they're quite cute. They're little beaded stitch markers. Okay. See that? She's got a little flower and a little bead. So we've got two of those. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with their yarns. I mean, I think part of the reason I've not really done subscription boxes before is because I'm quite fussy about the colours I work with. Now I have loved all the colours they've sent, but I probably wouldn't have ordered 2 blue yarns in a row. So, and I'm not sure, maybe I showed you 2 last time, didn't I? Because my packs come slightly later. So, but yeah, that is lovely. I definitely will find something to make with that. So, I also have a coupon code for the Knitcraft subscription. I think if you use the code Lululoves, you can get 20% off your first box. So I'll link that down below as well. You know, I think the yarns alone are worth it, to be honest with you. So, and like I said, I know that you can go in and change your subscription. So I could go in and request different colours. I just haven't. Right, so now I'll show you the yarn that I bought. My LoveCrafts bag here. So apart from my Arid weight yarn that I didn't need, and I also added, I think they had some sort of offer if you spent so much, so I added a couple of the paint box cotton DK for the bunting, because I'm still working on the pineapple bunting. The other thing I was going to say is I've had a few requests for the headscarf, the lacy headscarf. It's all ready to go. I will get it up on the blog. I'll try and do that by the end of the week, so I'm sorry about that. So I've grabbed those. I'll put those with all the others because I use those all the time. Let's have a look. So first of all, I picked up one of these Anchor Crafty 100% recycled. This is like rope yarn, 80% regenerated cotton. I'm guessing that means recycled. And then oh no, 20% polyester, which is recycled. What does regenerated yarn mean? Anyway, it says for a 10 to 12 millimeter crochet hook. I guess it's like macrame. How do you say that? Macrame? Macrame. Anyway, I think it's like cord, you know, for doing macrame. I just thought I'd try it. It was inexpensive, and I think that would be good for also crocheting homewares, things like placemats and that. So I thought I would have a play around with that. I've not really worked. I've worked with the t-shirt yarn before. I haven't really worked with rope yarn. So I thought I would have a go. And then what else have I got in here? Let's grab them all now. Oh yes, I ordered some of this Rico Design Creative Lazy Hazy Summer Cotton. It's a DK. This is just the most beautiful cotton. Look at that. It's very soft. Yes, I was intrigued to see how that would work out, but it is very, very soft. It's 49% cotton, 46% acrylic and 5% polyester. It's just so pretty. I look at all those different colours. I thought that would be lovely for some bunting, but I'm not so sure that you know, how that would work up. I'll have a go and let you know, but I just thought the colours were lovely, that summer haze, and it really does remind me of those summery sunsets. So that's beautiful. I'm just going to start the camera again, and this one is 50% super fine alpaca and 50% fine Highland wool hand wash. There we go. Look at that colour. That is beautiful. I love that. There's the label there. You can kind of feel its wool. It's very soft, but I'm not sure that might. I feel like for me, this might be more of a mitten or glove yarn, just because I do feel like I might get the itches if I had that around my neck. I don't know. I'll work it up and have a look. It's not too You can see some of the fibres, but it's not, but it is beautiful and I absolutely adore that colour. So I ordered one skein of that to try, and then I also ordered some alpaca fingering. I generally love alpaca yarn. This one's Garnet Heather and it is 100% alpaca. I don't think it's as soft as the drops, actually. It is lovely though. There we go. It's that lovely garnet colour, and I thought that would make some really lovely wintry projects. So I'm excited to try those and see how that yarn works up. I'll let you know. And that's it for my little yarn haul. So I will update you on what I've been doing with Skillshare. So Skillshare have also very kindly sponsored this video. I've been working with them for a couple of months, and I worked with them last year as well. So I've been really enjoying working with them, and I've really been enjoying Skillshare again, actually. So I'm really happy. So I had a few queries through my Etsy store. So I have an Etsy store. I also sell my patterns on Ravelry and through LoveCrafts. I am a bit remiss with it in that I just sort of plop them up and I don't really give it much thought, which, you know, is a bit naughty really. But I had a few messages that a couple of my patterns had actually gone out of stock on Etsy, which, you know, is completely my fault. I just hadn't really been checking in, apart from to answer queries and things like that. So I thought it would be a good time to give my Etsy shop an update. So as I was looking on Skillshare, they had some classes on Etsy, so I thought I would have a look. And the one that I took, I've written down, it's called Etsy Launch, How to Open an Etsy Store Like a Pro by Tiffany Emery. It's a 2-hour class and it's sort of separated into sort of 10-minute chunks. And I got so much from this class. I will show you all the notes that I took from these classes. And actually, she's got a really good resource that's attached, like a workbook that takes you through the whole process. I mean, I have an Etsy store. I don't need to launch an Etsy store, but separates it into 6 rules. So you've got market research, branding, photography, writing descriptions, pricing, SEO. And then she goes through step by step on how to launch your Etsy shop. That's right from creating your Etsy account. So it's a really, really good resource if you are new to Etsy. I'm obviously not new, but I still took away so much valuable information, mostly for me about SEO and keywords and branding and things like that, which I'd never really paid much attention to, if I'm honest. So I thought it was really interesting. I wish that I had done this course all those years ago when I had started my Etsy store. But she's really clear. Like I said, it's a 2-hour one. And most of the classes that I've taken on Skillshare have been under an hour. But I didn't do it all at once. I just worked through it. And like I said, not all of it was relevant for me because, like I said, I already have a shop. But yeah, I just found it so useful. I've already made some changes to my Etsy store, to my listings. I want to go through and give everything a good refresh. So yeah, if you are thinking of selling your crochet projects or your patterns online, I definitely would recommend this class. She really covers everything. And like I said, I think even the tips like photography, you know, if you're new to taking product photography, that can be a bit of a minefield sometimes. And it doesn't have to be complicated either, but and just tips on how to sort of make a cohesive brand. And I found it really fascinating. So I definitely would recommend that course. And Skillshare have also got a new promotion for the summer month, which means that the first 1,000 people to click on the link in my description bar get 1 3-month trial of Skillshare Premium. So that's all their classes, all their content. So, you know, over a month, you could potentially do quite a lot of classes. So I think that's a really good deal. Anyway, as usual, no pressure from me. I will pop the links below if you're interested. Go and have a look, and I will link to the couple of classes that I took this month on opening an Etsy store and Etsy branding and things like that. So I think that's everything creative wise that I've been doing, apart from, like I said, baking lots of cakes. I did bake the soda bread that I wanted to from that National Trust book in the last episode. I did take some vlog footage, so I will put that up next as a June vlog. I mean, I did stop filming anything, like I said, once we were in isolation. It was all very it was all very dull, but yes, that turned out really well. I really enjoyed it, so I will pop that up. And then I've got a few books to talk to you about. I have read recently, the first one, actually I read two books that both have quite similar themes actually. I haven't brought the other one up, but the first one is Look at Me by Anita Brookner. This is just one that I took out of the library. I gave this one 4 stars on Goodreads. It's a book about a woman called Frances who works, she works as an art historian, I think, in a library, a sort of reference library, and she lives, you know, quite a lonely life. She lives in her mum and dad's old flat. It's a big old flat, and she still lives there with the maid that lived with her mum. And she has a very quiet life. She goes to work, she then goes home, she writes, she wants to be a writer, so she goes home, writes, and then she gets up and she does it all again. It's very, you know, she's very dutiful. She spends her free time visiting old work colleagues and all sorts of things like that. But you do just get the sense that she's not happy with her life. She's very, I suppose, lonely, like she feels like life is just passing her by. And she gets sort of taken under the wing by a doctor and his wife, and they're this very sort of gregarious, glamorous couple. And they invite her around for a dinner one evening, and then she starts to be sort of a regular guest at their house. And you know, it almost for a while changes how she feels about herself. Like she feels like she's got this life and that she suddenly is worthy of more interesting clothing. And but to them, she really is just almost like a plaything, like an experiment, and it's sort of quite cruel in a way. But there was something with it. I think it's the way she writes. I've never read any of her work before. And the prose is beautiful, and she really captures like this kind of almost like hopelessness, this kind of loneliness. It's sort of very acute. I mean, in some parts, you know, it's not a very plot-driven book. It sort of, you know, you could get sort of 5 pages down the line and she's really just finishing describing the living room. So it was a bit frustrating at times, but when I got to the end of it, it was a book that really stayed with me, and I definitely would like to read more of her books. I've never read anything before by Brookner, and yeah, definitely I'm intrigued to read more because she really captured, I think, the essence of what it feels like to be lonely. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Even though you have this life where you see people every day, you know, it's a different kind of loneliness, I suppose. So yes, I do recommend that. Although if you like a plot-driven book, this is definitely not one for you. It almost feels a little bit old-fashioned. In fact, I felt like it was set, I'm not sure when it's set, definitely after the Second World War, but I'm guessing it is set in the 80s, but it almost seems a little bit old-fashioned. Maybe it's set before then, but it was written in the early 80s. I know that. So yes, I liked that. And I'm comparing it to the other book that I read recently, which is a new release called Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. I don't have the copy with me. I'll put a picture up here. I think that was shortlisted for a Women's Fiction Prize for 2021. I gave it 3 stars. It's the story of a brother and sister, both in their 50s, and they live on the outskirts of society. They sort of live in an old cottage with no modern conveniences, with their mum, and their mum dies right at the beginning of the book. And it's about how their life sort of spirals after that. They get evicted from this cottage, and of course they've spent their life growing the vegetables, and the sister doesn't work. She's got some sort of heart condition, which meant she's never worked. In fact, she really didn't attend school, so she can't even write or read. And he does sort of the occasional labouring job. So they're very poor. They're very almost off grid. They don't have phones. They don't have, you know, the internet. They don't have a TV. And it's a similar it's similar in that it's really a book about loneliness, I suppose, and love. But you know, as their life sort of spirals out of control, they start to learn more about their mum, and it's all a bit of a shock to them, and they end up in these sort of situations where, yeah, they're just really sad. It's just really sad, actually. It's not really an uplifting book at all. But I will say, although it was beautifully written, I just didn't really connect to any of the characters, and I feel like, yeah, there were still a lot of unanswered questions by the end of it. I thought it was going to be more of a thriller. It definitely wasn't. There's more going on than Look at Me. There's more of a story, which does keep you going, but at the same time, it's not anything thrilling, I think. Yeah, so I think if you like a slower paced book, it might be one for you. It's got some really good reviews on Goodreads. I think it's about 4 stars. So look it up, because it's not one that I would say don't read. I just didn't feel I got much for it. Whereas I felt, even though there's less of a story, I felt like the Brookner left more with me for some reason. It made me think, really stayed with me afterwards. And there's not a lot that happens in that book at all, really. So I don't know. Well, I can't explain it. So anyway, now I've moved on to a good old crime. I've got The Postscript Murders by Elly Griffiths. I took this one out from the library also. Just before we got locked down, I had taken out The Stranger Diaries, which I think is the first one in this series. And I was reading it thinking, I know this plot. Like, I'm pretty sure I know this plot. And I thought, have I read this book? But it wasn't on my Goodreads. And I thought, in the end, after I'd read about 50 pages, I thought, I'm going to have to skip forward to the end a bit, because I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. And if they end up in Scotland, then I've read this book. And sure enough, they did. So I'd obviously already read it at some point. The sad thing is, I did remember not being overwhelmed by it. But I thought, I'm going to give her another go, because so many people recommend her, don't they, as more of a cozy kind of crime. You know, she's not very gory or dark. And actually, yeah, so far, so good. I'm quite enjoying this one. I think I'm enjoying it a bit more than The Stranger Diaries. So, yes, let me know if you've read any Elly Griffiths. She's got a few series. I'm wondering if they're all kind of the same. Let me know what you thought of this, if you've read it, or any of her other books, actually, because they're so popular that I thought I will just try. And I do like a cozy crime, but yeah, I wasn't overly keen on The Stranger Diaries. Like I said, this one's not too bad. I am moving through it, and I'm enjoying it. So I'll let you know how I get on with that. And lastly, I also took this out from the library. This is called Conscious Crafts Pottery, 20 Mindful Makes to Reconnect Head, Heart and Hands by Lucy Davidson. Here we go. And the projects, I was really drawn to the projects, but also when I had a look through, because I thought sometimes these books, you know, you've got to go out and you've got to buy a certain type of clay, or you know, I just don't want to do that really. But I had a quick flick through it. Oh, look at these leaves, lovely. I had a quick flick through it, and actually she gives you some clay recipes. right at the beginning, and when there's two recipes. There's one with baking soda corn flour, which makes an air drying clay recipe. She says it's slightly more fragile, and then the other one she uses is glue and corn flour air drying porcelain clay. This homemade clay is a lot stronger. You can roll it out thinner, which is ideal for any detail work. So I thought, well, that's brilliant, because I can do that at home with Lou. And so I thought we might have a go at making some of our own clay, and then maybe trying out some of these projects, because they look really nice. We've got tea lights, bunting, brooches, bangles, even some sort of, we've got some jewellery, beads. Yeah, I just thought that was a really good idea, actually. So I think I might try and have a go. Got some planters. I like this one, look, with the just, I mean, very simple ideas, but I should imagine that's quite mindful, that sort of project. I liked this as well, this little like succulent pot holder. So I thought that was a really lovely little book, and like I said, I really liked that you know, there were clay recipes there, and there's lots of techniques, basics, how to merge clay, joining two pieces of clay, and even the names of the projects, Imperfect Pots. I mean, that's just me all over when it comes to making things. So yeah, really liked the look of that. So I thought I would give that a little mention. I think that would make a really lovely gift for someone as well, because it's nice and compact. So that's everything. I hope you're all well. I'm sorry if this podcast is a little bit bitty, and for the light which keeps going in and out. The sun is really temperamental. The sun is really temperamental today, so I do apologise. But I will be back in a couple of weeks, I promise. But in the meantime, I will get that headscarf pattern up on the blog, and I will pop up another vlog. So let me know how you all are and what you're making, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye.